Human trafficking is one of the great issues which every country put the serious effort to tackle in order to meet international standards based on human rights. Regarding the importance to combat human trafficking, on the 3rd of April 2015, Thailand has declared the national agenda as a clear sign that Thailand has not neglected the problems and put them high as priority agenda, which required a systematic approach to formulate concrete regulation. Thailand is known as one of the world's largest seafood and sea fishery hub, gaining the annual income of 270 billion baht from the export of seafood processing and fishing industry. This shows the role of industry has significantly influenced the advancement of both Thailand's economy and society. The trafficking in sea fishery and seafood processing sectors does not only violate human rights, but also causes a negative impact on national security, credibility, and economic and trade relations, which surely shake the trust of other nations. Thai government and the Ministry of Labor are fully aware of the importance to upgrade the quality of life of seafood processing and sea fishery migrant workers. As a consequence, a concerted joint effort by the government, private sector, civil society organizations, and international organizations is being made to integrately solve the problem, determine strategies to prevent and suppress labor trafficking in order to tackle the core problem.
การดำเนินงานในเรื่องของการที่จะขจัดเรื่องของปัญหาแรงงานค้ามนุษย์เนี่ยนะคะหรือว่า Zero Tolerance เนี่ยเรามีการดำเนินการในทุกรูปแบบตั้งแต่เรื่องของกฎหมายเรื่องของกลไกเรื่องของจัดทำแผนปฏิบัติการนะคะแล้วก็การบริหารจัดการแรงงานต่างด้าวเรามีความจริงจังในเรื่องนี้เราตั้งศูนย์บัญชาการป้องกันการค้ามนุษย์ด้านแรงงานและติดตามสถานการณ์ขึ้นในกระทรวงแรงงานนะคะซึ่งรวมการทำงานของทุกกรมในกระทรวงมีการจัดทำยุทธศาสตร์ในการป้องกันและแก้ไขปัญหาด้านการค้ามนุษย์เนี่ยนะคะไม่ว่าจะเป็นเรื่องของนโยบายเรื่องของการป้องกันเรื่องการบังคับใช้กฎหมายรวมทั้งเรื่องของการทำงานร่วมกับหน่วยงานต่างๆด้วยนะคะโดยสรุปก็คือครอบคลุมทุกด้านค่ะ
The Ministry of Labor pursues its policy and scheme to reform the labor sector to determine the strategy for preventing and solving the problem of labor trafficking 2016 to 2020, divided into 5 aspects which covered overall operation. Those are: 1. The development of a fundamental mechanism of the policy and the operation launching. The Ministry of Labor has set up the Command Center of Prevention of Human Trafficking on Labor and Monitoring Labor Situation, CCPL, as the headquarters, with the purpose to draw up policies and strategies to prevent and suppress human trafficking in labor, lends assistance and monitors the labor situation closely. The conventions and protocols of international labor organizations have been ratified, including Memorandum of Understanding and an international agreement on employment, which have been signed for the purpose of increasing efficiency regarding the hiring of foreign workers from the neighboring countries, creating equality for migrant workers to receive protection under Thai law, making transparency to prevent illegal employment and human trafficking on labor. 2. Providing protection, solutions to tackling problems, and assistance for job seekers and workers to ensure that they will receive fair and equal privileges prescribed by law. The reformation of migrant workers management is being implemented in order to regularize the illegal migrant workers, allowing them to legitimately join the right channel, control the labor migration between Thailand and neighboring countries, and ensure that every worker in the kingdom have the right to receive protection and privileges equally. The assistance must be provided to victims of human trafficking, granting them to receive justice and remedy based on the international human rights. 3. The efficient and effective laws enforcement. By improving and amending the relevant laws in response to the current situation, heavier sentences and penalties have been put in place for wrongdoers, including officials and others who involved in human trafficking on labor, which submitted them to face the possible highest punishment. Inspections are to be carried out in a strict on common businesses, the at-risk businesses, and sea fishery vessels. The regular inspection also be engaged on various sectors, including agency, labor brokers, employers, business owners, and officials. If any offenses have been committed, the prosecution must be carried out in transparent and just manner in order to eliminate corruption from the system. 4. Preventing and monitoring high-risk workers from becoming victims of human trafficking on labor is to be done by providing knowledge on human trafficking, the rights, responsibility, and penalties under the relevant laws, creating awareness by launching a public relations campaigns for employers, business owners, and labor networks in order to support the suppression of human trafficking, promoting the migrant workers' management based on international standards through the Good Labor Practices or GLP, and supporting Thai businesses in obtaining the Thai Labor Standard TLS 8001-2010 certificate, as well as keeping a close watch and inspecting the various sectors concerned in order to prevent human trafficking on labor. 5. Developing a network and data management to create cooperation in exchanging information between sectors. Improving labor networks, government, NGOs, and the civil society, domestically and internationally, on the purpose of promoting the participation in monitoring and preventing human trafficking on labor. The above-mentioned measures on preventing and suppressing human trafficking on labor has officially shown the government's sincerity and firm intention to intensify preventive actions and the solutions to human trafficking on labor by covering all aspects to meet the international standards. The Ministry of Labor sincerely put every determined effort to eliminate the mentioned problems from Thai society with the aim of upgrading the existing labor standard to truly approach the international standards.
ขณะนี้เนี่ยเราก็ยังคงเดินหน้าในเรื่องของการปรับแก้กฎหมายที่เกี่ยวข้องนะคะ เรากำลังร่างพรก.ในเรื่องของการนำเข้าแรงงานต่างด้าว การทำ MOU กับประเทศเพื่อนบ้านที่จะนำเข้าแรงงานแต่ละประเภท แล้วที่สำคัญเนี่ยเรากำลังร่วมมือกับทาง EU และองค์การแรงงานระหว่างประเทศในการจัดทำโครงการที่เรียกว่าป้องกันรูปแบบที่เลวร้ายในการทำงานที่เกี่ยวข้องกับด้านงานประมงทั้งหมดค่ะ ในตัวแรงงานเองก็มั่นใจได้นะคะว่าท่านจะได้รับการคุ้มครองตามกฎหมายขณะเดียวกันเนี่ยก็ขอให้กำลังใจเจ้าหน้าที่ที่ปฏิบัติงานนะคะต้องปฏิบัติการอย่างที่เรียกว่าทุ่มเทก็ขอให้เชื่อมั่นในการทำงานตามกฎหมายแล้วก็ยึดหลักมนุษยธรรมแล้วก็หลักการพื้นฐานตามมาตรฐานสากลค่ะ
During the period of reforming the country, labor is considered as a driving and major force behind the advancement of the economy, a key indicator to measure the stability of Thai society, as well as a key mechanism ensuring the solid growth of the country to be able to compete with other countries. For these reasons, the Ministry of Labor has provided the key objectives to create employment opportunities and options for every workers, develop the skill of labor force, protect workers and their working condition, promote workers' sustainability, ensure their security and the quality of life, as well as develop the management system of labor organizations and personnel to become more efficient in order to meet international standards in every aspect. To ensure stability of Thai labor, as well as prosperity and sustainability of Thailand.